That day the heavens burned, and the fate of the Central Plains was rewritten. If you enjoy the way I make my videos, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe. It really motivates me to keep creating. Rumble. A colossal firestorm tore through the heavens. Its terrifying heat instantly evaporated the moisture from the land below, drying the earth until deep fissures spread across the ground. Other than a handful of elite Du Shengs, no one dared approach within 10,000 feet of the fallen peak. The Hall of Souls chief has actually been defeated. An oppressive silence engulfed the entire mountain range as countless eyes stared at the raging inferno in the sky. After enduring such a terrifying frontal assault, even if the chief of the Hall of Souls had managed to survive, his condition would undoubtedly be dire. The outcome of the battle was all but decided. Grave expressions spread across the faces of many experts. For countless years, the chief of the Hall of Souls had stood as a pinnacle existence within the Central Plains. His ruthless reputation alone was enough to make entire factions tremble, establishing the Hall of Souls as the region's unquestioned overlord. Yet today, that very expert who once plunged the Central Plains into rivers of blood had been defeated by a rising star of the younger generation. From this day forward, the names Xiao Yan and the Sky Mansion Alliance would blaze across the Central Plains like a blazing sun. This youngster is truly extraordinary. The era of the Central Plains overlord may be coming to an end. Grand elders and hidden experts from various factions exchanged silent glances. Their eyes, now fixed upon the lone figure in the sky, held newfound solemnity and respect. In this world, strength was eternal authority. On Fallen Mountain, the experts of the Sky Mansion Alliance erupted with barely contained joy. Pride shone in their eyes as they gazed upon Xiao Yan's slender figure. Xiao Yan's fearsome reputation within the Alliance had been forged through countless battles, but today's victory sealed his position beyond all doubt. From this moment on, he was no longer merely a leader. He was their spiritual pillar. If news of this battle were to spread back to Sky Mansion, it would undoubtedly shake the entire alliance to its core. Everyone present understood its true significance. From today onward, in the hierarchy of the Central Plains, one mansion stood above one hall. The future overlord of the Central Plains would be the Sky Mansion Alliance. In stark contrast, the Hall of Souls side was plunged into deathly silence. Their experts stood frozen faces pale and unfocused. Not long ago, merely hearing the name Hall of Souls was enough to instill terror across the Central Plains. Yet in just a few short years, their invincible overlord had tasted defeat for the very first time. I want to see how you explain this to the clan. Old man Hun Mo's expression twisted with fury as he roared, the surrounding gazes burning into him like needles. The one who laughs last is the true victor, Hun Qian Mo replied coldly. If our Hun clan lacked patience, we would have vanished from this world long ago. Old man Hun Mo clenched his teeth, swallowing his retort, his dissatisfaction clearly written across his face. Hun Qian Mun's eyes darkened, his shriveled fist tightened beneath his sleeve. Rejoice while you can, he muttered inwardly. Once the Hun clan's true plans unfold, the Sky Mansion Alliance will be erased with a flick of a finger. The firestorm above slowly dispersed. A charred, blackened figure was suddenly flung out of the fading flames. The figure was riddled with horrifying wounds, some so deep that faintly pulsing internal organs could be seen. His aura was so weak it was nearly imperceptible. Chief of the Hall of Souls. Hearts clenched across the battlefield. The once mighty chief now lay utterly defeated, stripped of all fighting strength. Any lingering hope among the Hall of Souls experts was crushed in an instant. Struggling to open his blurred eyes, the chief landed weakly on the ground. Xiao Yan. This grudge, I will never forget it. His hoarse whisper barely carried. High above, Xiao Yan gazed down at him with icy indifference. A sharp glint flashed in his eyes. A problem must be eradicated at its root. With the Hun clan's methods, even such grievous injuries could be healed in months. Allowing him to live meant endless future trouble. And Xiao Yan had no intention of leaving loose ends. Since you are defeated, then leave your life behind. Killing intent erupted. Before anyone could react, Xiao Yan descended like lightning, murderous aura surging. Xiao Yan, how dare you? The Hall of Souls experts shouted in shock. They never expected such ruthlessness. Humph, Xiao Yan sneered. This is repayment for the blood debt you owe my Xiao clan. His figure flashed above the chief's head. His palm slammed downward, fierce wind howling certain death if it struck. The chief's eyes filled with terror. At that instant, "You are seeking death." A thunderous roar shook space itself. Hun Qianwen appeared space-warping around him, his fist smashing toward Xiao Yan with murderous force. Xiao Yan did not retreat. With a thought, little Yi appeared on his shoulder, hurling countless fire lotuses forward. Boom! A scorching explosion erupted, though Hun Qianmen's fist tore through the flames and smashed into Xiao Yan's chest. Ugja! Xiao Yan spat blood, his body reeling, but his palm still landed. Bang! The Hall of Souls chief's head exploded into a mist of blood. His body followed, torn apart by lingering force. Xiao Yan withdrew instantly. Bastard! Hun Qianmen roared, eyes crimson with rage. Space collapsed around Xiao Yan as he lunged forward. Just as Xiao Yan prepared to unleash the extermination fire lotus, Hun Qianmen, a calm voice, interrupted. Life and death are inevitable in battle. You should not break the rules. The Pill Tower's ancestor appeared, standing calmly before Xiao Yan. Hun Qianmen's face twisted. Old ghost, are you truly choosing to oppose my Hun clan? Threats are meaningless to me, the ancestor replied with a faint smile. Hun Qianmen fell silent, his killing intent locked onto Xiao Yan as he hissed. Xiao Yan, killing a member of my Hun clan will earn you a fate 100 times worse than Xiao Xuan's. Thank you for the warning, Xiao Yan replied coldly. Next time your Sky Mansion alliance will be wiped out. Hun Qianmen collected the shattered soul remnants and retreated, the Hall of Souls experts following in utter defeat. Xiao Yan exhaled slowly. Too bad. I couldn't completely destroy his soul. You're too greedy, the Pill Tower ancestor chuckled. But perhaps history may truly change. He gazed at Xiao Yan thoughtfully. This descendant of the Xiao clan may yet accomplish what Xiao Xuan could not. The Fallen Mountain battle, which had shaken the entire Central Plains, finally came to an end with the defeat of the chief of the Hall of Souls. Many spectators felt an unfulfilled sense of awe, as though they had not yet had their fill. The final outcome exceeded the expectations of countless people. For hundreds of years, the Hall of Souls had stood as the undisputed overlord of the Central Plains, acting fearlessly and arrogantly without restraint. Yet at last, they had encountered a force capable of standing against them. That force was the Sky Mansion Alliance. This alliance, formed from several major factions, had once been looked down upon by the older generation. However, after only a few short years of integration, it had risen at a breathtaking speed. Even more shocking was the number of experts it possessed. To most sects, a single Dao Sheng class expert was an ancestral guardian, a pillar that supported the entire faction. Yet the Sky Mansion Alliance possessed 10 such experts. This alone made it clear to everyone that their rise was not a matter of luck. And when these elite Dao Shengs were led by a man who had defeated a 5-star Dao Sheng, the chief of the Hall of Souls himself, the resulting shock was simply indescribable. After this battle, it was universally acknowledged that the Sky Mansion Alliance's reputation would spread to every corner of the Central Plains. That grand clash would undoubtedly be retold countless times, spoken of with awe and reverence. The transfer of the position of Overlord shook the entire Central Plains. When news of the Fallen Mountain battle reached the Sky Mansion Alliance, it triggered an earth-shaking wave of shock and jubilation. For half a month, the entire alliance was immersed in wild celebration. From this moment onward, the Sky Mansion Alliance possessed an unrivaled reputation within the Central Plains. Every member down to the outermost ranks could walk with heads held high. The badge on their chests announced to the world that they belonged to the Sky Mansion Alliance. The Alliance's glory was also their own. Yet amid the overwhelming joy, no one forgot the individual who had brought them this victory. That earth-shaking battle was passed from mouth to mouth, revered as one of the most extraordinary battles in history. Xiao Yan was described as a divine being descended upon the mortal world. These exaggerated tales made Xiao Yan himself smile helplessly. However, they caused the Alliance's members to treat him with blind reverence, faith bordering on worship. This was no longer simple respect. It was belief. When a person's reputation accumulated to a certain extent, it would silently transform into faith within the hearts of others. The reverence the Alliance members felt toward Xiao Yan grew increasingly fervent. Yao Lao and the others were somewhat surprised by this phenomenon, but they did not interfere. Such belief strengthened cohesion, and more importantly, only Xiao Yan possessed the ability to inspire such faith. After half a month, the wild celebrations gradually subsided. While the ordinary members remained intoxicated with excitement, the Alliance's upper echelons stayed calm and vigilant. Though the victory over the Hall of Souls had brought immeasurable benefits, standing at the peak also meant facing open hostility and hidden schemes. Unlike the Hall of Souls, whose ruthless methods and Hun clan backing had cowed all opposition, the Sky Mansion Alliance had risen too quickly and lacked such terrifying support. Thus, soon after the battle, strict orders were issued. No member was allowed to act arrogantly or oppress others. All behavior was to remain restrained and proper. Those who violated this rule would be expelled. Under this severe deterrence, the Sky Mansion Alliance appeared exceptionally calm and disciplined despite its victory. No scandals spread, earning the quiet approval of many factions. After all, the Hall of Souls still existed. They were watching, waiting for a mistake. As the Sky Mansion Alliance steadily rose, countless factions that had long harbored hatred toward the Hall of Souls began to gather. In the past, fear had forced them into silence. Now, with a new overlord standing tall, they naturally flocked to its banner. However, the Alliance did not recklessly absorb new members. A strict and complex screening process was implemented. Only the truly trustworthy and powerful were accepted into the inner alliance. The rest became outer members. This orderly expansion caused the Alliance's strength to surge once more quietly, yet unmistakably. Deep within the Star Realm, a stream wound through dense forest before transforming into a silver waterfall that plunged into a crystal-clear lake. At the center of the lake, a human figure sat cross-legged upon the water's surface. He did not move. Ripples approaching him vanished 10 meters away, as though an invisible stillness surrounded his body, lending him an indescribably serene aura. Buzz. After half a day, the figure slowly opened his eyes. A faint flame flickered within his pitch-black pupils. Lowering his gaze, he frowned at his palm. Suspended half an inch above it was a black bead so dark it resembled a miniature black hole, seemingly capable of dragging one's soul into its depths. This figure was naturally Xiao Yan. 3 months had passed since the Fallen Mountain battle. During that time, the Sky Mansion Alliance underwent drastic transformation. But Xiao Yan did not interfere. He knew his own limits. Management was not his strength. Yao Lao understood this as well and allowed Xiao Yan to cultivate in peace. Xiao Yan devoted himself entirely to training. Xiao Xiao spent her time with the little fairy doctor and Qing Lin, while Xiao Chen strictly supervised her cultivation. As a result, Xiao Yan found himself with the greatest freedom. Though his cultivation stabilized at initial 5-star Do Sheng, the gains were modest. Only now did Xiao Yan truly realize how difficult it was to advance further without special opportunities. However, his greatest gain did not lie in cultivation levels. It came from little Yi swallowing the Nihility Devouring Flame's flame seed. The Nihility Devouring Flame was infamous for its ability to devour all things, even Du Qi and souls. Refining even a fragment of its flame seed granted a chance to inherit part of that terrifying power. Xiao Yan had devoted a great deal of time to studying this strange devouring power. At first, everything unfolded exactly as he had anticipated. Under the resonance between the heavenly flames, a black bead gradually took shape within his body. It was no larger than a fingernail, yet its presence was impossible to ignore. Suspended quietly in his dantian, it resembled a miniature abyss, pitch-black, bottomless, as though it could swallow all light and existence itself. The moment Xiao Yan focused his perception upon it, a bone-chilling sensation crept up his spine. Within that tiny bead lay an astonishing devouring force. It was savage, tyrannical, unreasonable. It did not merely consume Do Qi, it plundered it, dragging it in with a violent suction, as if all energy was nothing more than prey before it. At that moment, Xiao Yan felt genuine excitement rise in his heart. If he could control such a power, if he could refine it and make it his own, then his cultivation speed would undoubtedly undergo a qualitative leap. Even among Dushengs, he would possess an advantage that others could only envy. However, reality soon poured cold water over his enthusiasm. As time passed, Xiao Yan's joy quietly faded. He discovered to his shock that the black bead was far from obedient. It devoured not only the surrounding Do Qi within his body, but also faint traces of his life force. Though the absorption was slow and subtle, it was relentless, like a silent parasite. Worse still, the energy it swallowed was grotesquely impure. Countless chaotic impurities were compressed together under the bead's devouring force, forming a dense mass that resisted refinement. Even when Xiao Yan attempted to burn it with his heavenly flames, the impurities barely reacted. They were stubborn, corrupt, almost alien in nature. The devoured energy could not be absorbed. It could not be refined. It was nothing but a toxic burden. This damned thing. Xiao Yan's expression gradually darkened. Cold sweat seeped from his back. What he had once believed to be a priceless treasure was now revealing itself as a hidden calamity. Left unchecked, this black bead would slowly gnaw away at his foundation, perhaps even his life. Not only was it useless, it was dangerous. Extremely dangerous. Xiao Yan let out a quiet breath, forcibly suppressing the turmoil in his heart. With a flip of his hand, he prepared to isolate the bead and store it within his storage ring, sealing it away for the time being. But just as that thought crossed his mind, whoosh! A soft pink flame suddenly burst forth from his palm. Little Yi appeared. The tiny flame spirit's eyes locked onto the black bead the instant he emerged. Desire surged across his small face, pure and instinctive, as if he had encountered the most irresistible delicacy in the world. Without hesitation, his chubby little hand reached out and wrapped tightly around the bead. The devouring bead trembled faintly. Ha! Xiao Yan froze. His pupils contracted as surprise flashed across his face. He could clearly sense it. The moment little Yi touched the bead, the violent, devouring power that had made Xiao Yan uneasy actually calmed down, almost as if it had met its natural predator.